you think you know this icon. The towering silhouette, the golden clock, the very heartbeat of London. But what if I told you that Big Ben is a lie? Or at least, not what you see on the postcards? Most people are mistaken. The tower has a different name. The clock has its own destiny. And the real Big Ben? It's hidden from your eyes behind a shroud of iron. Ready for the truth? Then subscribe, and let's dive into the depths of history. It all began with a catastrophe. October 1834. The London sky turned a terrifying orange. The old Palace of Westminster was being devoured by flames. Hundreds of years of history vanished in a single night. But from the ashes, a symbol had to rise. Charles Barry won the contest to rebuild it. He was an architect with a grand vision, but he had a problem. He could build walls, but he couldn't master time itself. While Barry built the skeleton, the soul of the tower was crafted by Augustus Pugin, a Gothic genius. He designed everything from the massive dials to the tiny doorknobs. But for this perfection, he paid with his sanity. Pugin worked in a fever dream. He believed it was his greatest work, and his curse. He went mad and died at just 40, never hearing the first strike of his creation. Time claimed its creator too soon. The government demanded the impossible, a clock more accurate than any in the world. Royal astronomer George Airy set a condition, a variance of no more than 1 second a day. Clockmakers laughed. You're building a giant weather vane, not a clock. Edmund Beckett Denison, a lawyer by trade but a mechanical genius, accepted the challenge. He was so arrogant, he fought with every minister. To defeat the wind, he invented the gravity escapement, a brilliant brain for the tower, but the clock needed a voice. The first bell, cast in 1856, was a 16-ton monster. When struck during tests, it didn't ring, it groaned. A massive crack shot through the golden metal. It was a disgrace. It was smashed to pieces. From those shards, the second bell was born in 1858, the real Big Ben. It was slightly lighter, but still weighed as much as 3 African elephants. 16 white horses pulled it through the streets. How do you lift 13 tons 30 stories high without electricity? It was a feat worthy of the pyramids. For 30 hours, men pulled hemp ropes. The creaking wood, the sweat, the fear that it would drop and bury Parliament. July 1859. The first official strike. Bong. London went silent. But 2 months later, Big Ben cracked again. It seemed like the end. But engineers turned the bell, lightened the hammer, and cut a small V into the crack to stop it. That off-key fractured sound became legendary. It's not a defect, it's character. A voice recognized by millions across the globe. Inside the tower lie rooms tourists never see. Halfway up is a tiny prison cell. They used to lock up unruly members of Parliament there. Imagine sitting in a cage while tons of metal vibrate above your head. Above the cell sits the mechanism, regulated by ordinary pennies. If the clock runs fast, an engineer adds a copper coin to the pendulum. 1 penny changes the speed by 0.4 seconds a day. An empire depending on a few cents. During World War II, Big Ben became a beacon of hope. A German bomb struck the tower in 1941. The walls shook, the glass shattered, but the clock never missed a beat. The BBC broadcasted the chimes, telling the world, Britain still stands. In 2017, Big Ben went silent for 5 long years of restoration. When masters stripped away layers of black paint, they gasped. The hands were never meant to be black. They were a vibrant Prussian blue. History had been hidden for decades. Today, the Elizabeth Tower shines with gold and celestial blue. It is more than a clock. It is a reminder that even after fires, wars, and deep fractures, you can keep on ringing. Next time you hear that sound, remember, it belongs to a bell that shouldn't have survived, yet became immortal. Thank you for traveling with me. Until the next chapter of history.